Do you feel like you're living in the movie Groundhog's Day right now? Has your life become so mundane and monotonous that you're doing things the same thing day in and day out? Maybe you feel so disconnected and lonely because your normal routine has been completely stripped away from you, and that you feel like no one sees you or could possibly understand how you're feeling. It may be loneliness, it may be doing everything by yourself with no breaks or adult contact. I'm not sure what it is, but I want to encourage you today, friends, that you are seen and known by God. I think of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, the night before he was crucified, and he went away from his friends and he was alone, and he felt like he felt alone and discouraged because he knew what was ahead of him, and he cried out to his Father, asking and pouring out his thoughts and his fears and his concerns. And I encourage you during this time to know that you're known by God. Psalm 139 verses 1 through 5, it says, Lord, you have examined me and you know all about me. You know when I sit down and when I get up. You know my thoughts before I think them. You know where I go and when I lie down. You know everything I do, Lord. Even before I say a word, you already know it. You are around me, in front of me and in back of me, and you have put your hands on me. Friends, that is such encouragement today, that he knows us so well. I think back to one of the loneliest times in my life. I was out of college. I was teaching my first year, and I was living alone. I hadn't met my husband yet, and I was asking the dear Lord where in the world he was, but I was going through a very lonely time. And I remember that I cried out to God. Sometimes it was in my head, sometimes it was out loud because quite frankly there was no one around to hear me, and sometimes it was through journaling. But I look back on that time, and that is the time in my life where I drew so close to God, and he truly became my best friend. He was the one where I shared all of my feelings. So friends, whatever feelings you're having today, frustration, anger, you're scared, you have anxiety, whatever those feelings are, I implore you to turn those over to God. He, one, already knows them, but we get the blessing of feeling known when we share those with him. He can take it, whatever it is. You don't have to feel like you have to go to him with all this fluff or goodness. Like, he already knows it. He sees you. He sees you and he knows you and he loves you dearly, and he wants you to be known by him. So I encourage you to pour out those thoughts, those feelings to him in whatever way you can. Maybe it's not a written journal. Maybe it's an art journal or a sketch or whatever it is. But I pray that you will pour out those feelings, those concerns to him, and that you would just rest in knowing that he hears you and that he knows you. God bless you.